Alright guys, in today's episode, we're going to be changing the alternator on a B5 A4 with the 1.8 turbo. The old one took a crap. We got this shiny new one that we're going to put in here. And I'm going to show you some of the tricks on how to do it. I'm not going to show you everything. Mine's already loosened up. Just going to show you some of the tools and things you can do to make this a little simpler. First of all, here's the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a 6 and an 8mm Allen socket, 1/4" drive, along with the 1/4" drive ratcheting wrench. You want an extension to go with that. You'll need a 9/32 or, well, also a 7mm socket to go with those, as well as an 8 and a 13. Screwdriver will come in handy. Then you'll need a 17mm wrench or an 11/16, so pretty close. And let me show you the easiest way to get the belt off. Alright, if you look down in there, you can kind of see that silver block. See if I can get something to point to it. This guy right here. You're going to put your wrench on that block. Either the 17mm or the 11/16, either one works. And what you're going to do, after we get this on here, bear with me for a moment. Alright, you can see at the 17mm, goes right over that nub. And with that, I can turn the belt tensioner right there. Now in the manual it tells you to remove the cooling fan, which I thought was a little excessive. So I found this way more helpful. So you just turn that tensioner over to the well, you'd be turning it clockwise to loosen it up, and then you just slip your belt off your pulley, and then I just grabbed a bungee cord and held it to the bottom of the car that way to get it out of the way. Now I suppose the first thing I should have told you is to unhook your battery. It should be a given. You're messing with the electrical system. You don't want to shock yourself or damage any electrical components, so number one, unhook your battery. Now as far as getting this out, you're going to need your 6mm Allen, either your socket or just an Allen wrench, to get this bolt out right here. This bolt came out of that hole. Then you'll want to remove your throttle body inlet tube off your intercooler. Get that out of the way. There's also a metal support for the intake manifold that goes underneath. Kind of hard to see. See if I can get a better view of this. There you go, right there. It's easiest to remove the bottom bolt and then look around or feel around underneath the intake with your fingers and find the top bolt and just loosen that, and then you can move this up out of the way, and it will make things much easier as far as getting your hand in and out. I also removed the rod off of my cruise control. Get that out of the way, makes things a little easier. Now, the tricky part is getting the wiring unbolted from the back of the alternator. You're going to need your 13mm on the left side, or the passenger side if you want to get technical. So if we're looking at our alternator from the front, this is the new alternator just to show you. 13mm here. This is going to be an 8mm here. There's also a wire loom holder from the factory down about in this area-ish. It's kind of tricky to get off. Takes a little bit of patience, but it gets out. Also, when you do get your bolts out, alternator might get stuck a little bit, so it's easier just to have the screwdriver and kind of pry it up out of the way. And yeah, you got this top bolt here. I got pulled out. The bottom bolt's kind of hard to see. You can see the head of it down there. And of course, there's always something in the way when you take a bolt out. I always found that out on these cars. But yeah, grab this hose down here. And just pull that to the side, and then you can usually get the bolt out far enough to move the alternator around. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take this out now, so I'll be back in a few moments. Alright, so now I got the alternator wiggled loose. I took out that big long bolt out of the bottom side that uses an 8mm. And then I also should have mentioned the sizes on some of the other stuff. The top bolt was a 6, I think I did mention that. And then also the hose clamps on your throttle body inlet. You can use either the 9/32 or 7mm on those. Either one works. This was kind of stuck in place, kind of tight, so just shake the hell out of it basically, back and forth, and it'll come out. Now that we got the other stuff out of the way, it should be easy to get out. I'm going to move this radiator hose. It should just come out right through this hole here. And then we're going to drop it in the bottom of the car, because that's what you're supposed to do. How about I set this camera down? This might help a little bit, just maybe. There we go. Look at that. Old alternator is out. New one is ready to go in. Hopefully, this was clear as mud for everybody. I know it was really unorganized, but if you're in a pickle, I think if you use some of the stuff that I did here, you should be in good shape. As long as you got all these tools, it really helps having one of these. The little 1/4-inch ratcheting wrench, a lifesaver. But when you're breaking the bolts, you definitely want to have regular Allen wrenches, because some of these, the ratchets, don't hold tight. If you're a wrencher, you'll definitely understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so there we are. Hopefully this video helps you guys. Good luck.